Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video episode on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. Today we're taking a look at another bolt-action rifle. This one is sort of Japanese and sort of Italian. It is a Type I Carcano. Japanese collectors will recognize that, I'm sure. The genesis of this rifle was a 1937 agreement between the Axis powers, Japan, Germany, and Italy, to help each other out with some industrial production. And there were a number of outcomes to that, but one of them was that Japan, the Imperial Japanese Navy, placed a contract with Italian rifle producers to have a whole bunch of rifles made. This has, it's the action off of a Carcano. So we have a split bridge back here. You'll recognize, put this down. Anyone who's had a Carcano will recognize the striker, the safety back here. Now the safety is push this in and rotate up. That decocks the rifle, and you've got this big tab that blocks your sights so you know that it's unsafe. That is all straight out of a Carcano design, but the rest of the rifle is basically identical to a Japanese Type 38 Arisaka. Other than that, it's a pretty standard bolt action. It does use a Mauser-style 5-round magazine, just like an Arisaka. So, plain box magazine, stripper clips. This is chambered for 6.5 millimeter by 50, semi-rimmed, which is 6.5 millimeter Japanese. These were never chrysanthemum marked, so you don't have to, there's no premium. In fact, you shouldn't buy one with a chrysanthemum because it's a fake that someone added on. And you'll never find one that has a ground off marking there. Well, Arisakas were serial numbered all over the place. There is only one serial number located on the Type I's, and that's up on the front of the barrel, the back of the barrel. Right here we have our serial number. They were a single letter and then a 4-number serial number. They started with A and they went all the way through N, I believe. Now there's a little bit of a discrepancy. The generally accepted number is that about 60,000 of these rifles were made, but of course the serial number range greatly exceeds that. And we don't really know what the answer to that is. A lot of these rifles were actually recovered from warehouses. They were never actually issued. Some of them you will find with very, very blonde, unfinished stocks. This one is finished. They do have a 2-piece stock, like an Arisaka. The bottom is dovetailed into the top. That just allowed the factory to use smaller pieces of wood and a little more economical. You will also find 2 different stock lengths on the Type I's, which I believe, not 100% here, but the original ones were fairly long. Japanese cut some of them down and requested that they be made a bit shorter, and so later production ones were made at the factory a bit shorter, just to accommodate the typically smaller Japanese soldiers who would be using them. Now I do also have a Type 38 Arisaka here that I figured we'd pull out and compare the 2 rifles so you can see where the similarities are and where the differences are. So, looking at it from the side, you can see we have the split rear stock on both guns. We have the exact same type of sling swivels set up, so the same slings would be used. You can see the wood and the bands are put together the same. The bayonet lugs are the same. The cleaning rods are the same. There is one difference up here. The Type I's did not have protective wings on the front sight, where the Type 38s did. If we stand the rifles up, line these up. So you can see the rear sights on the 2 are almost identical. The only difference really being that the Type I here has a V-notch for a rear sight, while the Type 38 has a round peep sight. Other than that, identical. The stripper clip guides are the same, the magazines are the same. The major difference, of course, is that the Arisaka is a Mauser-style action with a closed receiver, where the Type I is a Mannlicher-style action with a split bridge back here. And this Type I is actually one of the longer ones. You can see I've got the chambers lined up next to each other here, and the Type I is about 1 inch longer than the Type 38. So the Type I is another interesting piece, especially for a Japanese collector, also for an Italian weapons collector. They're not hugely common, but they are out there, and they're not that hard to find if you go looking for one. And make a nice addition to a collection. A bit of an unusual rifle. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something and liked taking a look at them. Tune back in to ForgottenWeapons.com for more military bolt actions.